These are just surreal, beautiful images of a rare sight. Frozen waves of Dream Lake in Colorado, captured by a professional photographer. Colorado landscape photographer Eric Gross seeks out the unique and often unseen wonders in nature. And this time it's Dream Lake, Colorado. I wonder if Joseph Nicephore Niesp, who took the first photograph in 1826 from an upstairs window of Niepce's estate in the Burgundy region of France, could ever have imagined that in the future, billions of people would be carrying a camera in their hands every day. That first image is a moment in history frozen in time, never to be repeated, as all photographs essentially are. Colorado landscape photographer Eric Gross seeks out the unique and often unseen wonders in nature on his travels in North America and around the world. In February, without having to travel to the other end of the world, Gross happened to capture the ultimate moment frozen in time almost on his doorstep at Dream Lake in Colorado's Rocky Mountains National Park. And if you look at them, these are not these are frozen waves. Psychedelic mountain reflections found on the frozen contours of Dream Lake water in Colorado Rocky Mountain, appearing as if windswept waters were frozen in time. These sleek wave-like curves are believed to result from the melting snow refreezing, then being carved and contoured by wind and snowdrift. This ground-level perspective provides a view that seems otherworldly, reflecting so strongly that one could be forgiven for thinking it's a lake of flowing liquid metal. Now, Gross decided to explore a more isolated area of the lake when he arrived, hoping to find an exceptional view. He said, while much of the lake was simply bumpy, one small section near the shore actually had what looked like frozen waves with sharp edges, hard curves, and steep sides. I couldn't explain what I was seeing. So while trying to image how frozen waves could occur, I started shooting, he said. And now I'll leave a link below. You can see the various pictures that he shot. It looks like frozen water in waves, though. Now, it was a case of learning on the go, and he soon found a technique that gave him the unique perspective he was looking for and fired his excitement for more. Not surprisingly, after his amazing shoot in February, he was back at the lake in March for more, after which his photos of the frozen lake started trending and making headlines soon after he posted them. According to Gross, the weather was by far the most difficult part of his photo shoot at the lake. He explained, after that first bluebird February day gave me an image I loved, I knew I had to go back and try again with more planning. I tried to go for a sunset shoot the following week, but this location, being at 9,905 feet elevation, battered me with over 40-mile-an-hour wind, snow coming directly at me down the valley, even though it was not snowing at the trailhead at 9,400 feet. This is what he continued saying. I hiked the next morning where again it was sunny at the trailhead, but after the 1-mile trip to the lake it was far too windy, with nearly whiteout conditions to take my photographs. On my 4th and 5th trips I was able to actually use my camera. He's got amazing. I mean, it's so glassy. You think you can see the bottom of the lake. I don't know if that's a reflection of the sky or the surrounding scenery around the lake, but it looks surreal. It's as if you have, those snow globes, and you have the village inside, and then you shake it and you have the snow. Well, it looks like a snow globe with the under part of the lake inside. Just amazing. Most nature photographers seem to have unbelievable patience and can do attitude when it comes to getting that perfect shot. And thankfully, Gross has experience in hiking and climbing in all sorts of weather conditions. And on this trip, he also learned some lessons. He said, what I learned from this experience is that for most locations, there is simply no way to plan a foreground for an image. It requires going to the site and walking around, possibly for hours, to find something interesting enough to take up half the image. Even on the carved ice, I have dozens of images from different pockets that aren't nearly as compelling as the best ones, which showed that moving just a few inches can have an enormous impact on the image's foreground. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. You won't believe it. It looks like surreal. Gross has this to say of the future. As some hype built around these images and the lake itself, it became apparent that an interesting foreground combined with a beautiful landscape background is my ultimate prize. So he says that he was shuttered out of some areas and effectively he was locked out of some opportunities before winter ended. And his plan now is to put his boots to the ground a lot more often, looking for the most interesting foregrounds instead of focusing more on dramatic mountain peaks. And with that in mind and being homebound, he said for the time being, Gross has started making a list of past images taken from across North America, which he hopes to retake using his newly discovered artistic eye and perspective for foreground. And you can have a link here with his website, Facebook, and Instagram page. This is by Jade Small, The Minds Unleashed, and it's Creative Commons. And if you want to know where Dream Lake is, I found it. It's around north of Mount Lindsay, Grand Sand Dunes Volcano, Colorado, and just basically southeast of Salt Lake. This is Salt Lake that we have here. And this is, of course, Yellowstone. And how far is it from Salt Lake? Let's see, in miles. Where are we? Dream Lake right there. It's about 330 miles. So it's a nice day trip once we can get in there. But let's go take a look because there's a lot of other lakes there too. It's not the only one. Let's take a look. There seems to be a lot of beautiful lakes in those mountains. You can see them, they're starting to come out. You see that? Okay. There we go. Some are bigger. Grand Lake, that's Grand Lake over there. But those are small. And I guess you can, that's why it looked so tight in those pictures. There we go. Bear Lake, Nymph Lake, Dream Lake, Emerald Lake, Lake Hiawatha. I was going to say Hiawatha, I'm sorry. I used to play Hiawatha, the story of Hiawatha to my sons. Oh, since they were like babies. Look at that. Oh, look at that. Look, you can go over the mountain, go into another lake. Isn't that something? Look at that, look at that. Well, look, since we're stuck inside, we can pretend we're there. We can pretend we're there. We're going hiking, Bear Lake, and we're down to, look, oh, that's a parking area, look at that. It's a parking area, some buses over there. It's amazing. Nymph Lake is a little one. And that's Dream Lake right there. Amazing. That's what was frozen. Look at that. It looks shallow to me. It looks pretty shallow to me. See that? Those are the banks of the lake. More banks of the lake. It looks like there's a pathway around here. That's beautiful. That's where he took the pictures. Let's go around. Yeah, it looks as if he took them up facing that way. This is the way he was facing. Okay. Yeah, he was facing this way. It's very, very tight. Very tight. Let's go in a little bit more. Beautiful. Okay, there we go. Well, we have some kind. You can see the ripples there right now, but okay, that's what he was taking a picture of. There we go. Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, we're almost eye level, but his is much more beautiful, obviously. Okay, let's get out of this. It's getting us dizzy. Okay. That's amazing. I don't know what these things are. Are they fallen trees or something? Could be. There are no trees there. Unless maybe, yeah. These could be trees, but they don't come out very good. They don't come out in the image. Yeah, those must be fallen trees. These must be the shadow of the trees. Yeah, these must be the shadow of the trees, the tops of the trees. That looks beautiful, doesn't it? Very clean, pristine water. Most probably from rainwater and snow melt. So that's it. That's Dream Lake in Colorado. It was beautiful. And even those flanked by mountains, I guess, as you said, it's very windy up there. That's why you get all those bubbles of waves. There we go. That's it. That's beautiful. It's lucky to have gone up there. So I'll leave links below for you for this. Thank you. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.